Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Well, today, how to have a difficult but very important conversation with your children about sexually explicit content on the internet. I think all parents worry about what their kids can see and what they should do to monitor it.
That's right. Dr. Melissa Westendorf is the co-founder of the Technology Wellness Center. She's also a clinical forensic psychologist. Welcome to the Morning Blend.
Hi. Great to see you.
Nice Such an important conversation. I think people are very fearful of children on the internet, and some of it very founded. You know, that there's a lot out there that they can see that they shouldn't be seeing, and we wonder, is it natural, is it normal, is it bad for them, is it okay? So let's talk just a little bit about maybe why the importance of education or parents monitoring their children first.
So, you know, what I want to say first is parents are getting better about talking to their kids about sexual education or development, but I think this is almost like a third conversation that parents need to have with their kids is specifically pornography. You know, a long time ago, pornography, you know, was in a magazine and, you know, they didn't carry it around with them. But now we have pornography that's on their phones, and so they carry this around. And there's a lot of research that's saying well over 50% of 10 to 17-year-olds see pornography on the internet, stumble across it, and look at it. And so I think parents really need to talk with their kids about what it is, that they're actresses, actors, that it's make-believe, that it's not real, because kids have a hard time, they can have a hard time of differentiating, is this really what it's like, or get confused by that. So parents need to have this conversation with kids. And I know it's kind of scary, and people might feel uncomfortable, but the more that we talk with our kids just normally about sex education and development, this conversation can happen very naturally as well.
You mentioned the statistics about 10 to 17-year-olds. At what age is it your suggestion that parents start talking to kids about sexually explicit content?
Well, some of it's going to be based on what they talk to you about, or what, you know, how they may respond to something they see on TV that you're watching. So it really depends on your child what's important. The most important thing is to talk to them before you're looking through their search history and you see that they're looking at pornography. It's good to get a step ahead. So again, it's based on your own, you know, you're going to know your kids best and what their development is like with regards to intimacy and sexual development.
A lot of times things just pop up on kids, you know, and so I could see a lot of times a reaction being really harsh or fearful and maybe shaming or things like that. But before, you know, those kinds of things happen and you think about the importance behind this, what are some of the concerns for children seeing internet pornography? Why do we have the right to maybe be a little fearful?
So some of the fearfulness is, so when kids are looking at this stuff on the internet, the explicit pictures, remember it's triggering the same reward systems that gambling does or drugs does. So it trips that, and that curiosity then leads to this rewarding sensation, so to speak. And so I have worked with kids who have developed an addiction to looking at pornography during their teen years, and that's during the time when they're learning their own sexual identity and their own sexual development, and so it can be very confusing. And what their expectations when they get older can be really far off than, you know, what the real world is like. And so you have those types of concerns. The other thing is, as kids start to look more and more at it, eventually they will stumble across child pornography. Now, we have to remember, it might be a 15-year-old looking for pictures of another 15-year-old, which is, okay, that's normal, that's their peer, but it also is child pornography. And so if they have that, they can be prosecuted and have been prosecuted under child pornography laws. And
just for looking at it.
Just for looking at it. And, you know, so my fear is I don't want kids' normal sexual curiosity to end up in the legal system.
Well, and I think that's a really important thing to note as we think as parents about talking to kids, is that it's normal for them to be curious. It's probably normal if they see something to want to look at something else. And so I think sometimes approaching your kids in sort of a non-judgmental way, but it's sort of a informational way, you know, because I think otherwise it's just like every other lecture that a lot of kids hear.
And so, and I get it, because for parents it's uncomfortable to talk about this. We never, you know, when we were growing up, it wasn't so prolific, so it wasn't this natural conversation. It was kind of something done, you know, on the side or whatever. But now it's just very normalized. It's on the phones, and so parents, they shouldn't freak out. I mean, it's not a freaky situation. It's just normal curiosity. But what we do with it and how we educate them about what they're looking at is probably the most important piece. And just so that when they go to adulthood, you know, they have a healthy understanding of sex and intimacy and relationships.
And how do you do that? What do you say?
Well, like I said before, you know, you can talk to them about how this is all, it's really make-believe. You got to remember these are actors and actresses, and they're making money off this. I mean, they're making enormous amounts of money off this, and talk to them in that context, and then ask them, well, do you have any questions about it, and just see where the conversation flows. There's no right or wrong way to do it other than just having an open environment that you can talk with them, or in the conversation talk with them.
I think it's very important. People can learn more at your website. Can they learn more about those conversations as well, or is it really just sites and things to be looking for?
Absolutely. They can go to the website. In fact, if anybody has any specific questions for me, we have a Ask Me page or button or whatever you want to call it. So they can ask me any specific questions they may have if they've stumbled across something and they don't know how to manage it. They can just go to the technologywellnesscenter.com website.
Well, and I know you're a mom too, and then the concern as kids grow into adults is that they have healthy sexual relationships and that they understand the importance of intimacy and a loving, caring relationship.
Absolutely.
I think you have a wonderful, a lot of information on that site that you can find out more by going to technologywellnesscenter.com. Always great to see you.
Important conversation.
Nice to see you as well.
Thank you.